A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Myself Vaibhav. In today's session of Visual JForex, we will be starting about the start point, and this is a new week, a fresh Monday, and here we will get started with the start point, which is the part of the basics which we are doing for past couple of sessions. So let us see how we can implement the basic points of starting the algorithm, and these are three options out there for the start point. And start point, as you can see, is an event which is system generated, and this is mandatory. You will need the trigger point for the algorithm to run, and on start, the start point will provide that trigger for any algorithm which you will be developing. So here you can have these three options: on candle, on tick, and trade events. We will consider all these three options in details, and if we see one by one, on candle, here this is the on candle start point. I will also give you an example of the on candle here directly on the Visual JForex platform. If you click on I info, you will get these basic details what the on candle start points is all about. And on candle basically is based on the candle parameter, and here you can have the candle period defined. If you are going for any predefined period, then that will be the iteration point for on candle start point, and otherwise it will take the default value, which can be anything between the 10 seconds to almost a month. So you get all these options on candle start point. And here, if you are not defining anything, then it will take on the default value, and it will reiterate the on the closing of the least candle time. So suppose if you are developing any system in which the lowest candle period which you are using is of say 1 minute, then after every minute, once the candle closes, it will reiterate. If it is of lowest value of 10 seconds, then the reiteration will happen after every 10 seconds. So it takes its defined period time from the lowest candle period defined for the algorithm. You can have some more details from the Visual JForex guide as well. Here you will have these info given in some details, and if you consider this on candle, so here you can see that it can automatically handle candle period of anything between 10 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hour, to 1 day, 1 week, or even a month. So any of these time periods can be selected, and it will work very well on that. And once if you are going for a 1 month time period, then once in a month it will reiterate and check all the conditions. So that is how it is going to work. And once that candle period is reached, it will start the activation. And then moving on to the on tick, and I think we will also see some of the components of on candle. So here we have these last ask candle or last bid candle, and you can take these values either from the ask side or the bid side to define various required parameters. Suppose if you are going to choose a start point on candle, then you get the if block conditions, if and else statement. So here if we are going in for any algorithm starting with the on candle, then you will have these options open for you to utilize, and you can take these values which are predefined. So you can use say if you want the condition of last candle open to be higher than any predefined value, then you can put that condition in this candle. Suppose if you bring in additional block, suppose you bring in historical candle. So here let us take the info, and if we get any historical candle, then you will have the option to take this output value. The output value is candle 12, then you can take the parameter of candle 12 and you can compare it with this last ask candles candle open. So you can choose to do that, and all these parameters are available for you to work with if you are opting for this start point. And the same parameters are also listed on the bid side, so ask side as well as the bid side. Both of these parameters are available for use. And let us say that we want the candle period to be defined and on 10 seconds. Then what you will need to do is first you have to take historical candle of 10 seconds, then what then suppose we change this to 10 seconds, and if you want to simply look at the spread, then all you will need to do is take two historical candle blocks. Here this is of bid, one more you will need to bring, which should be of ask side, and then suppose it is now, as I had said, everything is defined at default. Once we get the block, then we have to make changes, and if we want any different value, now that we need the value to be of 10 seconds, so we have to do that, and we need to run the flow through these candles, then only we can utilize these values. So the flow now needs to be reversed, and it should go from that side to this side, and as I said, we are looking at the difference of the bid and ask. So to do that, you will need to change these parameters, and here if you do some calculation or if you want to compare this, then you can utilize these conditions, these output values. You will have these output values defined for candle 12 as well as candle 13, and you can use all these parameters when you are starting with the on candle start point. And even if you are not going in for any particular value, even in that scenario, you can have these parameters which have been predefined on the last ask candle. You can take this and you can do the comparison or whichever calculation you want to do, and it will work very well. So this is how the last ask candle or last bid candle can be used when you are working with the start point which is defined on candle. Now moving on to the on tick. When we are using the on tick start point, we will have the reiteration, that is the starting of the algorithms every tick. So tick, each tick will be the defining parameter. So you have these variables available for your use: last tick bid, tick ask. So whichever you want to choose, you can work with that, and then you will need to have these parameters put suitably with different conditions, and then it will work just well. And when you want the algorithm to be quite extensive. It's in its data capture. You want to work with the on tick, as we have already seen. When you choose on candle start point, it will reiterate only as per the least amount of candle period, and in that sense you can miss out on a lot of tick data, as the tick is most extensive, and you have almost 3.6 million ticks happening in 1 hour. So that makes it one of the most intensive start point available with the Visual JForex platform. So here you can see the brief description. This method is based on the tick prices received from for a given instrument, and you have this variable section in the left panel handles data related to tick prices, and it will be getting filled automatically. So you can use this all these variables, and all you have to do to use them is simply use the on tick as the start point, and whenever it will be activated, we will have the data values replaced. You can say it will be getting the fresh values with every tick. So that is going to make our algorithms functions uh, tad more efficient than the start point of on candle. So here there is a example given of algorithm which is having the start points on all these three parameters, but you have to see the purpose of joining these all three parameters need to be taken into account. So whenever we are using, or whenever we are relying on any particular sort of data point, then we have to connect that respective trade start point, and from that sense we have to connect all three start points if the need be, but even you can work very well with even a single start point. So not every algorithm requires all three start points to be connected. So that is a point which needs to be kept in mind. So here you can see on tick, and we have already seen the data points which are available for us to work with. So these are the parameters which will be filled every time the new tick is generated and the iteration of this start point happens. Now moving on to the start point of trade event. Trade event is a different start point from on candle and on tick. So instead of relying on the candle data or the tick data, it will simply checking on the event, the message or the trade. Whenever that particular parameter, the particular trade or particular position is open, we will have this start point of trade event coming into play. So if we consider the trade event parameters, you can have these three types of variables available for use: string, the trade message text message type, the trade message type, and the position, trade message position. So you have these parameters available for use, and if you want to see, you can create a fresh variable, and if you put in the type section as the message type, so here then you will have these start values which you can use to see what sort of trade event has happened, if it is in a long trade or if it is in a short trade, or how the position change happened, what kind of prices the trade has been filled on, or if you want to use a trailing setup. Even in that scenario you have to be aware of the direction of the trade, and the prices, the open price, and its target and stop loss level. In such kind of scenarios, these trade event start point comes handy, and you have these details which will be looked into, and depending on the parameters or depending on the logic of your algorithm, this trade event will reiterate, and new trades will happen while taking into account the current dynamics of any position which is there on the account. So you have these parameters available for use when you are using a trade point start point as the trade event. If you go for its brief description, you will see that it is a method used by the system to gather trade information received as trading messages on the Visual JForex platform. So whenever there is any trade event, you can say any buy or sell or even the position closer, these messages which will be generated will go on and it will be received here, and after processing some new iteration will happen, and then the new action will be taken as per the logic which we have predefined. So that's how this trade event system of start point works. You can have some details from the Visual JForex guide as well. So here you can see that this method is based on the messages received by the platform and gets activated every time the specific message is received, and it is very useful when you are concerned with the change of the direction after the trade has been taken. So you can have this trailing setup, and you can have this start point where any event which is kind of adverse, which is in different direction of the trade we have taken. In such scenarios, you can opt for position closer or any additional logic which is needed to safeguard your position in the market. And in such scenarios, the trade event point of or you can say is going to be of high importance. You can here define certain conditions as well. Whenever say a particular candle's high is greater than a particular candle's low, or a particular candle's open, means if you are doing the comparison between two different candle data points, even in that scenario, whenever the parameter is fulfilled, whenever the parameters are fulfilled, a new message will be created, and depending on that message particular instructions, the new start point, the new event will reiterate, will start the cycle and check on if new position or new action needs to be taken depending on the context of the message received. So we have these three options, and three are more or less very helpful. I personally mostly stick with on candle and on tick. My personal favorite is on tick, but depending on the complexity, as I said, and your requirement, you have to be in position to use all these start points in your trading algorithm, and all three are of importance, and these are system triggers, and these are mandatory if you are working with the Visual JForex system. So this is the basic part, and in tomorrow's session we will now start to get with some info regarding the indicators which are available on the platform, and we will see different groupings, different types of indicators starting from tomorrow's session. So thank you all for joining in today's session. We will be back tomorrow. Till then, have a fabulous time ahead. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.